It's Wednesday, March 19th, 2008, and you are watching The Ointment. I'm Steve Tatham, and today is the day the Swallows come back to Capistrano, and oh, how I've missed them. Our top story is in law. The Supreme Court of the United States has taken up a very important Second Amendment case. It's the Washington, D.C. gun control law. This is a very divided court which is debating gun rights and gun control. In fact, the court is so divided that Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts has urged the court to settle this case by going into a back alley and having a duel. So I guess we know where he stands. Wednesdays here on the show, I have a special guest in the studio, and today it is very funny political satirist Mark Warzecha. He has his own live show called No Waiting with Mark Warzecha, which you can see if you happen to be in Hollywood, California this weekend. It's running at the Improv Olympic on Hollywood Boulevard. So Mark, there's a lot going on in the world of politics. What's on your mind today, huh?
I'm so happy to be here and sort of enthralled with this Reverend Wright controversy, which doesn't seem to want to end. I think Barack tried to put a period on it with his race and religion speech, but I doubt that's going to stop it. They keep finding more clips of this guy saying, crazy stuff. And I think all in all, the thing that we're learning here is that we must keep religion out of politics, because religious people say crazy stuff a lot.
That's their job, right?
It's kind of their job to do that, isn't it? Like, there's no sort of checks and balances or accountability on them, and we've seen it all sides. Reverend Wright kind of hates America, and Hagee sort of hates everybody, and Robertson said, we're responsible for 9/11. So I think all in all, it's just time to pull these guys away from the political realm.
Good idea, but they're giving you lots of material.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I want them to still say crazy things, because that's helpful, but we shouldn't hold our politicians accountable for what these people say, even when they're endorsed by them. We have to realize that doesn't mean anything.
You don't think it calls into question a candidate's judgment if they associate themselves too closely with one of these characters?
I think Obama had a good point in his speech, which he kind of said. Anybody who goes to church has sat in a pew, every now and then and thought, what my pastor just said was insane. That's not actually what he said, but that's what he meant. That's kind of what he said.
Hey Mark, have you ever found yourself at odds with your church?
Well, I grew up going to Catholic church, and I do remember one time where the parking lot in the church was such that there were long aisles where you would have to pull in, and one car would pull in behind another car, so it'd be long rows of cars next to each other, so that when Mass ended, the people who were parked here had to wait for the other cars behind them to pull out and leave. Well, what people were doing was they were coming to church and they were parking at the end of this row, leaving all the spaces in front of them open, so that when Mass ended they could just leave. And then one week our priest was very, very angry about this, and he used his entire homily to lecture about how awful it was that people were parking in the back, and we should want to be there, and we shouldn't be in a rush to get out of there, and it's a fellowship thing, and everyone absolutely ignored him. People just the next week continued to park in that same spot. So we're not always married to what our priests and pastors say in church, I think.
So what can we expect to see at your show this weekend?
We got No Waiting this weekend. It's Saturday night at I.O. West at 8 o'clock. Steve Tatum's going to be a guest, among others. And we've got great politically satirical videos. We're going to have a great roundtable discussion about all this exciting stuff that's going on in politics. You can find out more at our website, which is nowaitingshow.com.
Well, thanks for coming on today, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. That's Mark Warzecha and the show No Waiting with Mark Warzecha in Hollywood this weekend. I'll see you there. And finally, in the world of entertainment, Sean Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever his name is, Combs, is under indictment by the LA Times. They're claiming that he is complicit in the murder of rapper Tupac back in 1994. Ouch! That's a big charge. Who made that charge? We don't know, because the LA Times named no sources. Just like that story that ran in the New York Times about John McCain and the lobbyist. He was riding the corporate jets, doing favors for the lobbyist, maybe having an affair with her. Sean, don't worry about it. People forget. What happened with John McCain and the lobbyists? I don't know. Forget about that. Let's see what's on American Idol. That's the Ointment for another day. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Steve Tatham, and that's news. And don't you forget, be back here again tomorrow. Catch you then.